In our video for you today on the news, U.S. Congress members Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene blamed Joe Biden for the Donald Trump assassination attempt. A former classmate of the gunman who attacked Trump says the gunman was bullied almost every single day, and U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders weighs in on the assassination attempt. Let's get started with the former classmate of the gunman who attacked Trump saying the gunman was bullied almost every single day.
As we've been here, there's a large media presence here. You've had members of the community come and approach us, including one person who said he actually went to high school with this suspected shooter. I want you to listen to a little bit of our conversation there.
He was bullied almost every day.
In what way? Can you explain?
He would sit alone at lunch. He was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays, so they're gonna see someone like that and they're gonna target him because they think it's funny or whatever. So it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Yeah. You said he was a loner?
Yeah. I want to say he was a loner more because he was quiet, but he was just bullied. He was bullied so much.
And this was high school.
Yeah.
What did they, do you remember at all what they said to him or called him?
No. He was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance.
If true, this is obviously very sad. Doesn't excuse what the gunman did by any means. That was horrible. But as a former teacher, I found this to be very upsetting and sadly very believable. Schools need to do a better job at protecting kids from bullying and bad behavior in general. Being bullied can have a profound negative impact on one's life. If the school had stepped in and stopped the alleged bullying, would the gunman have still turned out like this? While being bullied can have a profound negative impact on one's life, if people step in and stop someone from being bullied, it can have a profound positive impact on one's life. It had a profound positive impact on my life. I remember when I was in kindergarten, I was bullied and shoved to the ground outside when I arrived at school every single day for I think a short period of time, completely unprovoked, in front of so many people, including I think many adults. I didn't know the kids who were bullying me, and I was a very quiet kid. Then one day I remember, I think I had to go to the nurse because I had a cut on my knee or something from being pushed down. And I think the very next day, before school, I decided to hide behind the bushes until everybody outside was gone, so that I wouldn't get bullied. And then when everybody was gone, I finally went inside. But that same day, when I went out for recess, as soon as I stepped outside onto the blacktop, my chief bully and two other bullies jumped in front of me to confront me. But then, something very interesting happened. Two of my fellow kindergartners ran up next to me on my left and on my right, and I think one of them said, "You're not going to bully him anymore." My bullies subsequently gave up and left, and that was the last time they ever tried to bully me. When we went back to class, one of the kids who came to my defense, and I think was the one who said, "You're not going to bully him anymore," sat next to me as we learned how to tie our shoes. That was our lesson for the day. And as we were practicing, the kid said to me, "Don't worry, I won't let them bully you anymore." And like I aforementioned, they never did bully me again. This kid and the other kid who helped me helped turn that negative experience into a positive one for me. They had a profound positive impact on my life. I actually look back at that memory in a very positive way. And for a long time, I even forgot that I ever got bullied. That's the kind of positive impact stepping in and stopping bullying can have on someone's life. Anyway, in this next clip, to the surprise of perhaps no one, U.S. Congressmember Lauren Boebert blames Joe Biden for the Donald Trump assassination attempt.
I believe that much of the rhetoric from the left has escalated to this moment. Just last week, we saw Joe Biden trying to excuse his poor performance at the debate and get that behind him and say, now we need to put Trump in a bullseye. President Trump was literally put in a bullseye after the president of the United States, the sitting president of the United States, called for him to be put in a bullseye.
I'd like to clarify what you just said. Do you believe that President Joe Biden bears any responsibility for what happened today, or does the responsibility for the shooting lie with the shooter?
I do believe that Joe Biden is responsible for the shooting today. Kyle Clark, an innocent supporter of President Trump, someone who loved President Trump and was there exercising their right to support him, lost their life today. Everyone who has called him a fascist, everyone who has called him a threat to democracy, who said that he should be put in a bullseye, as Joe Biden said, they need to have some very deep reflection tonight before another tragedy like this takes place.
In this next clip, also to the surprise of perhaps no one, U.S. Congressmember Marjorie Taylor Greene blames Joe Biden for the Donald Trump assassination attempt as well.
I'm really disgusted because here's why. Just earlier today on a fundraising phone call, and I'll quote, I want to make sure I get it right. Joe Biden told his donors that it's time to put Trump in a bullseye. Well, guess what? That is exactly what someone did today with their rifle as they attempted to assassinate President Trump. They did exactly what Joe Biden said to his donors.
In the case of Marjorie, though, users on X called her out for basically hypocrisy when it comes to incitement of violence because she put out the following ad before.
I'm Marjorie Greene, and I approve this ad. America's the greatest country in the world. We need conservatives in Washington that will keep it that way. I'm running to stop gun control. Open borders. The Green New Deal. And socialism. Democrats fight for their socialist agenda every single day. I'll fight even harder to stop them. I'm Marjorie Greene, Republican for Congress. Save America, stop socialism.
And it's not just Marjorie. Lauren Boebert could also be called out for hypocrisy when it comes to incitement of violence because she put out the following ad before. Pay attention to the very end of the ad.
Democrats, they fought him every step of the way. And now, welcome to Fort Pelosi, where Democrats decry walls from within their own heavily guarded razor wire wall. Democrats don't want to protect you because they don't care about you, but they'll spare no expense protecting themselves. We will not build a wall.
No, there will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration.
I'm not for a wall. I'm not for a wall.
It's time to cut the crap and remember, this is the people's house. Madam Speaker, tear down this wall.
Just to be absolutely clear, we are against incitement of violence, period. Doesn't matter if it's from a Democrat, Republican, or Independent. Finally, in this next clip, Bernie Sanders weighs in on the assassination attempt against Donald Trump.
Senator, I'm wondering if you can give us your reaction to the events that unfolded in Pennsylvania yesterday and what you think needs to happen in this country to prevent this horrific, completely unacceptable act of political violence from ever happening again.
Well, Kristen, thanks very much for allowing me to be with you today. For a start, I think everybody in this country, no matter what their political views are, wishes former President Trump a rapid and speedy recovery, mourns the loss of innocent lives and those who are wounded, and understands that political violence of any kind or shape or form is unacceptable, it is un-American, and we've got to put an end to it. I think in this traumatic moment, it's time for all of us to take a deep breath, remember what this country is about and what political campaigns are about. And they're about serious discussions of serious ideas as to how we address these serious problems facing this country. So let's use this moment. If there's any silver lining in this tragedy, it's to figure out how we go forward peacefully, constructively, and intelligently.
Absolutely, Senator. And you obviously have been impacted by political violence yourself in 2017. That horrible moment when Republican Congressman Steve Scalise was shot at baseball practice. You came out and forcefully denounced what had happened upon learning that the suspected shooter had been a volunteer for your campaign. How does that experience inform how you think the country can move forward right now?
Well, let me also say that a couple of months ago, my office right here in Burlington, Vermont, with 7, I was not there at the moment, but there were 7 staff members there. I was almost burned down by somebody who's in jail right now. 7 people could have been burned alive. So yeah, I am familiar with political violence in all its forms. The bottom line is what we need as a nation, what a democracy is about, is not radical rhetoric. What it is about is a serious discussion of where we are as a nation and how we go forward. You know, in a certain way, Kristen, politics should be kind of boring. You know, our healthcare system is dysfunctional. How do we fix it? Well, it's kind of a boring discussion, but we need a healthcare system that guarantees healthcare to all people. We have massive income and wealth inequality. Well, maybe a boring discussion. Should 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half of American society? So I think what we have got to see is serious discussion of serious issues and not this kind of harsh rhetoric that we have heard for the last number of years.
All right, Senator Sanders, you said something significant today, that our politics, is your hope, should be boring again. Here's to that happening. I think everyone, no matter what their political perspectives, can agree to that this morning.
Right.
Senator Sanders, thank you very much for your perspective. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.